Hi everyone, it's Leanne Barlow with EllaApparelBlog.com. Today I'm showing you this really cool fishtail Dutch braid. The Dutch braid kind of molds into the fishtail. It would be perfect for a date night, maybe Valentine's Day, if you're going out somewhere fancy or not. It's just a fun braid. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram. I'm Leanne Barlow on Instagram. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel too. I have a lot of new videos coming out and up my sleeve, and I don't want you to miss out on any of them. I am on day 5 hair, I think. A couple of the products I don't use dry shampoo, basically. And this is the dry shampoo I'm using today. This Suave, super cheap, but I use a ton of it. You'll see how much I use. And I take in so many fumes, but I like this one. I can't even get all of the hair in the screen. It's fun, I'm excited to show you. Okay, like I mentioned, I am on day 5 hair, so that means I need a whole heck of a lot of dry shampoo. I am using the Suave dry shampoo. Like I said, it's cheap and I use a lot. Watch this, you guys. So I just kind of separate my hair into different sections and spray the base all across the top of my head, all across the back of my head, all over the place. And that's kind of how I go so long without washing it. For the dry shampoo, I'll quickly straighten a couple of the front strands. Since those will be left out of the braid, I kind of like them nice and straight and piecey rather than kinked or curled. I'm using my very favorite Luxie hair extensions. These are so simple to clip in. And they match my hair great, and they're fantastic. I use them a lot with braiding to get nice thick braids. I'm using a teeny tiny clip I'm just going to add the extension just onto kind of one side of my head, since the big braid will drape along the side of my hair. I don't need them on the other side. So these are being placed just on the right side of my head, a really tiny one up top, and then one with 2 clips along the middle section, and then I'm using my super wide extension. It has 4 clips all the way across, and I'm just gonna stick that underneath at the very bottom section of my hair. It makes for a ton of hair, but it's great for braiding. So I'm going to start with a Dutch braid up by the top of my part. I just take a tiny section and I separate it into 3 small sections. A Dutch braid, instead of taking one of the sides of the braid and folding it over into the middle of the braid, I actually go underneath it and pull it up through the middle of the braid, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's easier to just watch as I do it. So I grab a side of it and I stick it underneath like that. As I grab hair along the back side of my hair, I don't add in new hair. But when I grab a section towards the front of my face, I'll grab in a little section of hair with that, kind of like a half French braid, and then I pull that underneath and through the middle. I'm also making sure to leave a couple of the strands of hair that I straightened beforehand. I leave those out. I kind of pull them aside before I start the braid. They just make it look a little bit messy and relaxed, which I like. So I make the braid really tight, and then when I get about halfway down, kind of by my eye, I loosen the braid. It's called pancaking the braid. I kind of pull out little sections of the braid to make it look bigger. And then I'll continue on with my normal Dutch braid. When I get to about my ear, right about there, I don't include any more hair. I just finish off that braid. And I do that section pretty tight, and then once I get to the bottom of my ear, I'll loosen out the other half of that braid to make it nice and full. And it's time to start on our fishtail braid. So swoop all of the rest of your hair over to the right side of your head, so it's all to one side, and stick your finger through the middle of your chunk of hair. We're going to just section it off into 2 sections now instead of 3 for our fishtail braid. The end of the Dutch braid can just be off to one of the 2 sides, kind of stuck into the braid. To make your fishtail braid, you're going to take a tiny piece of hair on the outside of one of your sections and cross it over in front of that section, tucking it down into the opposite section.
Then you'll do the same thing on the other side of hair. Take a tiny piece and cross it over that section and tuck it into the opposite section. And then you'll do that about 1,000 times. The thinner sections you cross over, the cooler it looks, I think. And you just keep going. I usually do the fishtail braid nice and tight about halfway down. And once I get about halfway down the braid, then I'll hold the section with one hand and fluff it up and kind of make the braid a little bit bigger by tugging out the little pieces. And then after I've done that and it's nice and full, then I will continue the rest of the fishtail braid. So see, that's fluffing it up, making it a lot bigger. That's where the extensions really come into play. You can make it nice and big and don't have to worry about running out of hair because you have tons and tons of extra hair added to your head. If you've never tried extensions before or you're interested in extensions, I would really recommend these Luxie hair extensions. They're easy to use. The color matches great, I think. It matches great with my blonde hair. I'm using the beach blonde color, and I have a discount code for them on my blog also. So go check out that post if you're interested in getting a discount on them. So I finished my fishtail braid, and now it's time to fluff up the bottom section of it, and I kind of fluff up as much of it as I can. I like the bigger the better, I think. I think it looks cooler. And then secure the bottom with your clear elastic. Then I secure any hair that's kind of falling out on the other side of my head with a bobby pin in the back. I like to use Redken's Braid Aid. It's a braid defining lotion that kind of holds the braid in place but doesn't leave it too stiff. And then I finish it off with my Living Proof Flex Shaping Hairspray. It's not too stiff and it holds the braid really well. And that's it. It's a beautiful braid, super romantic, super pretty, looks intricate, but it's not. I hope you enjoyed it.